we're back streaming straight to your eyeballs on e3.ign.com, youtube.com/e3, or IGN's Xbox Live app, or mobile devices, or other high-tech gadgets I'm probably forgetting. Right now, we're going to take a longing glance at Lara Croft's new adventure. Here on set is a world-exclusive demo of Tomb Raider.
Thanks, Naomi. I'm Damon Hatfield. I'm here with my good friend Carl Stewart from Crystal Dynamics. We have a yearly tradition where we come on the IGN Live show and we talk about Tomb Raider. I think this is the third or fourth year that we've done this.
It is.
Welcome back. Today is also a special day. Today is Carl's birthday.
Yes, it always seems to be around the first day of E3.
Yeah,
thank you.
Good. So we're taking a look at Tomb Raider.
Yes.
What are we seeing here now?
So what you're seeing is probably about 2 minutes into the beginning of this demo. If you remember last year, Lara scrambled to get out of this den that she was found hung upside down in, and she broke free onto the cliffside. Now we've taken her a little bit further inland, and this is where you get to see really the growth of our character really come to life. So right here, she sort of made her way a little bit inland now. She's a little bit injured. She's still got that sort of injury in her side.
She fell only like the
spike, and she had to pull it out. Yep. So now she's kind of found a radio. She's got a little bit of hope. Maybe there's somebody out there. She saw a life raft a few minutes ago washed up on shore, so she thinks some of her friends may have survived. But really now it's about making sure that she gets some heat, right? So it's all about understanding that character performance. It's about the journey and how she gets to become that Lara Croft that we gave you a little sneak peek of yesterday on the stage of the Microsoft press briefing.
Do you have to build fires?
No, this is more just about the story, the creative. Okay. It's sort of getting to that sort of stage where you feel like, okay, I'm personal with the character. I now know exactly how she's gotten to this point. So instead of just kind of going through gameplay, it's sort of, we want to show the personality, which is a very big deal about giving you the immersion into the game.
And the demo that you were showing at the Microsoft conference, she was killing a lot of people in that. So she hasn't quite gotten there, what we're seeing
here.
No,
she hasn't quite gotten there. Really what we showed yesterday was like a sneak peek, like a peppering of where we're going with it. Because going on this journey, taking Lara to this point in time where we feel like, okay, well, we want to get people into the game. We want to get people to sort of feel like they're protecting the character. They're also going after to help their friends. So Sam, as we see in this demo, gets kidnapped. Steph, one of her friends, gets killed at the beginning of the last demo last year. So we want to give her motivation, right? So the story and the journey that we show behind closed doors at E3 this year, and some of the stuff you've seen, is about taking the player on that journey so that we give her sort of a relevance as to why she's that stronger character that we saw yesterday at the briefing.
I see.
So what you're going to see now in a few seconds is Lara starts going into our, what we class as sort of one of the smaller hunting areas. The goal there is that we give Lara kind of one of our first pieces of equipment, the bow. The bow is going to become a very important part of kind of her gear gating and her structure throughout the game. She's a little bit clumsy with it to begin with. We want the player to kind of feel like this is an area where they can actually grow and evolve. As you come into this space, you'll see it's all about sort of the living, breathing space. We want the player to feel like this is almost alive, right? So there's no sort of repeat occurrences where the deer will walk around the same way every single time. It feels like everything's random.
She's found someone who was caught in a trap, and
yeah, it looks like somebody who's been strung up a long time ago. And this is the guy who's got this makeshift bow hanging around his waist. So now your goal is to get up there, and pry it off him. So straight away we start teaching the player about just some of the smaller platforming elements, just sort of the way in which you can move around the space. You remember past Tomb Raider games were all sort of very binary. You're jumping from ledge to ledge. As you know from last year's demo, it was very interesting to sort of show the player how they can now move around these spaces with a little bit more ease. Allows us to turn Lara into an explorer, which is what she's all about.
This forest environment looks amazing. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. The guys have spent a lot of time trying to make this as immersive as possible.
So I think we saw a glimpse of this scene in the trailer, the E3 trailer that was released last week, I think.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time getting that trailer together. Yeah, it was a big job for us. Really wants to sort of show a real character arc in that trailer. So to take the player on a journey, the viewer on a journey where they kind of feel like they understand a little bit more about Lara than we presented last year. You know, it's a big undertaking for us to reimagine a franchise that's been around for 15 years. So, you know, rather than sort of coming back with a piece of code just like this, we thought it was very important to sort of show the future of where we're going. You know, really sort of show people that it's not just about cinematics, it's about really getting them into gameplay and having some fun.
And she just got experience points for picking up the bow.
Yeah, so throughout the entire game, it's about building up her arc. So you remember the base camp we showed last year, which had those 3 pillars? Well, part of that is all about sort of building up her performance. You know, so as you come into these spaces, you're learning as a player. So you get XP, you can trade them in for skill points. And those skill points allow you to unlock things such as, you know, in this case, will become sort of better retrieval at arrows or better hunter. But it's all about sort of you going on that journey with Lara.
I see. So how does hunting work into actual gameplay?
Well, in this case, we sort of play it out where the player gets to see Lara sort of a bit more remorseful. You know, she's had to kill this deer, but really she's had to kill it because she needs to eat. As you play through this demo, you come across wolves, which is kind of, you know, kill or be killed situations. And you can obviously, you know, get some XP from killing them, and you can trade those in as well for some unique items. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later in the year, where we're really, really keen on sort of making sure that what we show is on screen. It's up there so you can understand it in more depth. Then after killing this deer, we got to make our way back to the base camp. And one of the important things about these areas, you'll see Brett kind of run around this space, have some freedom. But we have 3 ways that you can't really get lost. We'll have our map, which will be used throughout the game. And our goal here is to get back to our base camp. You can use your survival instinct. Your survival instinct, as we showed you last year, will give you a snapshot so you can see the icon in the corner here. And then the other thing is sort of intuitive design. The guys try and build these levels where you've come into this space at the base of a waterfall. Naturally, water flows down. So no matter where you run around, you don't feel like you get lost. You just find the stream, follow it back up to base camp. And we do that throughout all of the levels so that they sort of feel like you're being smart and resourceful as well as Lara. You're coming into these spaces and understanding them the way in which you would naturally.
And we'll see notifications pop up here and there, but for the most part, there's no HUD.
No, we try and break away from the HUD altogether. Yeah, we want to try and immerse the player in as deep as possible. You'll see as well with sort of the dynamic camera, breaking the camera off, bringing it up close to Lara, helps to be able to sort of immerse the player into those situations. Remember last year we had Lara in the, what we class as the Rambo tunnel, where we brought her up close and we showed her nearly drowning. And then in one of the scenes just before this, we sort of break the camera off and we show her on the edge of a cliff. So it's all about sort of bringing the player closer to it. So we want to take away the HUD because that destroys the atmosphere as we see it.
She just learned some new skills here.
She got some new skills, so we really sort of just pepper in at the early stages so the player can understand sort of how they're going to start growing the character through both your gear gating and your skills, survival skills, as well as your gear skills. So here she got the radio, she hears Roth, so now we're kind of on that way. If you remember last year, we showed 2 pieces of code. The second part was Roth, where she made it up to him, he gave her the climbing axe. Well, now she's figured out Roth's still alive, and she's now got a motivation to start making her way up through the forest to meet him further up.
Is hunting an activity you can do at any time? Can you just go into the forest
and
find...
you can hunt. What we try to do is teach the player that, you know, in the early stages, it's about the story. We want to immerse that player, as we keep saying. But soon enough, you can hunt just to be able to build up your XP. There's tons of stuff you can unlock. You know, you'll get to see that as you start playing through the game. So the motivation is to go in and do a little bit more than just kind of go in, do the job and move on. You want to have a little bit of fun hunting around, and as well sort of honing your skills. It's very important that you understand sort of the capabilities of the bow itself. So in this scene here now, Lara's been told by Roth to sort of make her way up through the rest of the mountain village and come find him. And now she's starting to get into some of the mystery. Here's some of the things that you got to see last year in the demo where the scavengers were in the den. Now we come into a place where one of the scavengers has been living. The door's now open, it gets a little bit creepier. Lara starts making her way so a little bit deeper into this cavern.
This could be a way through.
I don't know if she wants to go down there.
No, no. She's an adventurer. She's like, oh, I'm curious. What's down there?
This is going to be bad.
So as players, places like this, we try and bring the mystery. We want to sort of make the player feel like they're starting to understand the story and the world around them.
And something we saw in the demo again last year, there's like sort of physics-based puzzles, and sometimes you might have to use fire.
Yeah, one of the key things that we had was that smart, resourceful Lara, and that was sort of a bleed on from one of our sort of major pillars. You know, Tomb Raider is all about puzzle solving, exploration, and combat, and we reimagined it. We really took a step back and said, what does that mean to us with puzzle solving? To us now, in a world where we can have sort of very physics-based sort of movement, we can allow the player to kind of start understanding the space around them. So in cases like this, it's very simple, but physics becomes a very big part. And smart resourceful Lara is a huge element in the game throughout the series. There's burnable objects where we taught the player about last year. It becomes a reoccurring theme that makes it very easy for the player to be able to unblock areas.
We're close to running out of time here. Is there something big coming up soon that we should look out for?
No, it'll play through. We build it up. We build it up to a point where it's pretty climactic, but another 10 minutes, which we don't have that time.
Yeah, this is all looking really cool. Tomb Raider remains my most anticipated game. I know you recently, it was originally scheduled to come out this fall, but you recently had to push it back to March 5th.
Yeah, we made the
next
decision
year?
that we believe March was the best time for us to put it out, March 5th, 2013. We spent a lot of time reimagining this franchise, and we didn't just want to throw it out. It's the, sort of the game of our careers. We spent a lot of time working on it, so March it is.
I'll wait as long as it takes. The game looks really fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot for bringing it by again, and happy birthday.
Thank you. I'll try and celebrate some stage.
Please do. Let's go have a beer right now.
Sounds good.
Lots more coming up. Lots of great games on the way. Back to you, Naomi.
I so can't wait for that game. If you guys want to leave that demo, I'll take good care of it.